Hello, welcome back to Marta from Sparta. In today's episode, I will show you how to turn this boring green sweatshirt into something super stylish and trendy for this spring. So stay tuned, get your paintbrushes ready, and let's get started.
I came across this fun European website and I found three sweatshirts I immediately fell in love with. Obviously, the price tag is a little bit too high for me for the sweatshirt, so I came up with idea how to make them by myself using Amazon sweatshirts. I am listing materials you need for this project below, so grab a screenshot and you can purchase materials only for the technique which you think it will work for you best. Technique number 1. We will make a pink daisy sweatshirt using fabric Mod Podge and acrylic paint. Step number 1 would be putting something in between front and the back of your sweatshirt as well as in your sleeve to make sure that when you're gonna paint your sleeves and the front of your sweatshirt, paint won't bleed on the other side of your sweatshirt. So I have piece of plastic around from leftover projects, but you can easily stack a garbage bag. Once you do that, I secured plastic which I put in between my layers with some cloths because I was afraid that if I'm gonna be moving my sweatshirt around, also the plastic will move and I'm not gonna pay enough attention, and at some point I'm gonna be painting and the paint will bleed to the other layer of my sweatshirts. Once your sweatshirt is secured and you made sure that the layers are separated, it's time to sketch your design. As I mentioned before, technique number 1, it will be mixing Mod Podge, fabric Mod Podge with acrylic paint. I did the ratio 1:1 and I mix it in separate bowl, and I made sure that everything is mixed really well before I started to paint my sweatshirt. Fabric Mod Podge mixed with acrylic paint will give you this kind of shiny, plasticky, very stiff feel. I decided to go with a very flat, uh, mm, kind of stiff brush because I wanted to make sure that I will push the paint into the fabric. And the only mistake which I did, and I'm highly recommending that, pre-wash your sweatshirt because if it will shrink, potentially your design will crack. Not every sweatshirt is pre-washed. They sell pre-washed sweatshirts and t-shirts. So if yours is not and it's brand new, please make sure that you're gonna wash your sweatshirt first. This step is super easy. You just basically use your sweatshirt like a coloring book. You just fill your design with a color, and I had to paint each daisy multiple times. Even though my acrylic paint was mixed with a fabric Mod Podge, as you see in the beginning, I didn't get this rich pink color. I had to paint each daisy at least 3 to 4 times, and I was waiting for each layer to dry. So it took me basically all day to get the color which I was looking for. As I mentioned originally, mixing fabric Mod Podge with acrylic paint will give you this shiny, stiff kind of feel. So more layers obviously you will put, the stiffer the area where your painting will be. So I love the final result of this sweatshirt. I love how it looks like. I love that this sweatshirt has this kind of like a shiny design on it, but the trade-off for it is that the areas where the daisies are painted, it's kind of stiff. So I would say if you're doing small design, I don't think it will bother you. I did like a patches of daisies, so it's also I'm not being bothered by the stiffness of the fabric in this section. but I also think that if I would paint something very big in front of my sweatshirt, it would feel like I'm having like a stiff cardboard in front of me, if you know what I mean. So for small designs, for small areas, I think this technique is super fun and it gives you this fun, shiny kind of look like you have a iron-on sticker on it. But other than that, this is my personal opinion. I don't think I would use this technique to paint like larger area, especially on my chest. If that would be on my back, yes, it's fine. But I think that if that would be on my chest, I would definitely not use this technique. So I didn't go for full coverage, full even color. I didn't want my daisies to be very even and same color. I wanted my green to kind of see through the petals. I really like Inspiration Sweatshirt when the daisies are kind of not perfect and they are the color of the sweatshirt kind of peeking through the daisies. So I am very happy with how it came out, and I'm really happy how daisies look like, how everything dried. And I wore the sweatshirt once and it holds perfectly. And the last step would be to use your Sharpie and actually outline the daisy. Sweatshirt number 2, technique number 2. We're gonna make a purple daisy sweatshirt using ceiling paint and acrylic paint. The whole process of making sweatshirt is exactly same as sweatshirt number 1. You have to separate your layers and then you sketch your design on the sweatshirt first. The reason why I decided to use the ceiling paint because the first sweatshirt was eating up the paint like crazy. I had to put at least 3 to 4 or even 5 layers in order to get the coverage I was looking for and in order to get a color I was looking for. So this time I'm using actually ceiling paint as my background. So the first step would be obviously pre-wash your sweatshirt and then fill your design and paint your whole design using silic paint. And you need only one decent layer, and I think using ceiling paint made my life way easier this time. And the reason for it is because I put only one layer of acrylic paint and I immediately got desired color. I didn't have to paint it 3-4 times like I did with a sweatshirt number 1. Ceiling paint actually helped me to get this desired result immediately. So obviously this step is self-explanatory. Just cover your design with the colors you wish to, and you just using simple acrylic paint in desired colors. Just paint your design and make sure it's dry. And here we go. Technique number 3, pink sweatshirt and satin acrylic paint only. So steps making this sweatshirt are exactly same like with sweatshirt number 1 and sweatshirt number 2. Make sure you pre-wash your sweatshirt or just check on the tag if the sweatshirt was pre-washed. Then make sure that you're gonna put something in between layers so your design not gonna bleed through the layers to the back of your sweatshirt, and then sketch your design first. I chose to do what I saw on the website. I really like this quote, but you can grab any quote from the internet and use the same technique, just doing different quotes. Once I was happy with the placement of my quote and I was happy with my sketch, I grabbed a white paint Sharpie and I decided to go over it once again. You can skip this step. This step I don't think this step was actually necessary at all. I thought originally that it will be good idea. You don't have to do it. I thought that it will be actually helping me to see my quote a little bit better, but after I finished the whole sweatshirt, this step didn't do anything and didn't bring anything to the table except of making my sketch more visible and easier for me to paint it over. So if you don't want to, you don't have to do it. You can very comfortably skip this step. I was using Martha Stewart multi-surface satin white paint, and I was going directly without mixing that with any medium, any fabric medium, no fabric medium, no fabric Mod Podge. If you notice on Inspiration sweatshirt, design looks kind of wore off, but it also, the quote, it doesn't look like it's painted very evenly. It looks like someone was running out of paint and kind of like um, writing this quote in rush. So I was trying to accomplish the same feel. Like, I don't care and I just want to sketch something. Obviously, it's not that easy because it's the same kind of idea like with the hair. If you're trying to go for this messy, I don't care look, it takes actually more time to style it than having very controlled look. It was same problem with accomplishing this result doing this quote. I had really hard time getting into this feel of I don't care, I just grabbed the paintbrush and I slapped some quote on my sweatshirt. So you will see on the video how I was able to accomplish, and it's not that easy, but it's doable. So what I did, I actually first went over my sweatshirt already once with barely anything on my paintbrush. I don't know why I don't have this step recorded, but the sweatshirt over here, it's already done with a one very thin layer of acrylic paint. And then when this layer dried, as you see over here, I kind of was more brave with the paint, and I was putting more paint on my paintbrush and grabbing just the edges and smudging it out, so it actually will look like I didn't care and I was running out of paint, but I just wanted to have this quote done on my sweatshirt. So that actually was working perfectly. The only thing, make sure that the first layer of acrylic paint is dry, because if you're gonna do wet on wet, you will never get this type of result. Overall, all these three techniques were super fun and easy. Each of them is giving you totally different look and totally different vibe. Green sweatshirt is more shinier and kind of stickerish kind of look. Pink sweatshirt is more satin and it's more distressed look. And obviously the quote sweatshirt is very soft, I don't care kind of look with only acrylic paint on it. And I also love this feel. So again, depends what you like. Every person is different, everyone is different. So you choose the technique which works for you and which you loved the most. All of them were washable inside out, obviously on cold, in cold water only. And I am obsessed with each of them, and I have actually another project in mind as we speak right now for spring, and gonna involve also painting, and I think you guys also gonna love it. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and I will see you next week.
And hey, if you have expensive taste like me and you want to keep your bank account happy as well, this is the right place for you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week.